well, how things have escalated. You know, last time we showed you it, it was a complete car with some rust. And then it had lots of rust. Oh, it had lots of rust. We showed you around a little bit of it, but you can see what we thought would be small pinholes have become pretty major. You know, this is 3-level steel here basically, so we've had to repair the underside of it, and then the back piece of it, and then this is the top cover piece. So we haven't bothered to make it look pretty because, you know, the little tank needs to be a little tank, but it's all welded from the inside. Now no longer leaks water in there, which is great. You know, most people really wouldn't do this kind of work on one of these. This car would totally be a write-off immediately. You wouldn't think about doing the kind of work that we've just done to it just to get it to this stage. Like, this is sort of basically a 2.5 weeks of restoration just to get it to this bit. We've had to pull the entire interior out, all the floor mats, drained it all out. Now it's starting to slowly get back together again. We fixed all the little tiny bits in the roof, fixed the pinholes. We got one more to go here, which has actually turned out to be more severe than you think. But every piece of rust, be warned, every piece of rust on a car is always going to be more severe than you think. It's just the way it is. As soon as you start on it, it's going to be more and more and more. This car was a sound but scruffy North Island car, bottom of the North Island. Not, you know, not close enough to the sea to rust, but close enough for a Honda City to rust, which means they rust pretty much everywhere. So we've been doing a bit of catch up with this. If it was your old car, now you can talk to us about it. Your fool breaks the 2-second rule. How long has that been on there for? It's also, interestingly, got a tow bar. So that's pretty cool. We've blown this window out. So if we had to pull it out because it was basically rusty, like everything else. But on the taking it out, it exploded, which is a bit of a shame because it had already been out before. Somebody obviously broke it, and we had a real trouble getting it out. But lucky we did because the rust was actually coming in quite bad here. So we've got a little bit to do on that just to finish it off, but it's a lot better. How everything quickly gets out of hand? Escalation is basically how it happens. You go to do one little job, and then it becomes another job, then it becomes a bigger job, then it becomes a huge job. And that's just the way it is. Anybody in the car game will tell you. It's why it's very, very hard to actually quickly diagnose things and give you a price to fix it. So that's the way it is, of course. We found a little bit of rust on the Camaro now. She's been sitting out here for a while draining. So look, good news is most of the water is out of it. And this is our next project on. We've picked up some bits and pieces for it. We picked up the a set of doors for it just in case, because I can already see rust before we start into this panel. And this panel here, you can guarantee will have rust under it. Oh, for sure. So we're going to be doing that. And we're going to pull the nose cone off it because the nose cone needs redoing. It's obviously been done before, back in the past, because all of you rivet spotters there will be able to tell us that that is the wrong nose cone for an 82 Camaro. It should be slightly different. It should have the nostrils in it, and it hasn't. They updated it when they repainted it, because you can probably just about see here that there is a large pearl in that paint when it was redone, and then they revamped the whole car. And of course, you know, under here is quite scruffy, but not holy. So we're going to do that before we get the chance. Yeah, that'll be holy. So we've bought as many parts as we can to get it done. Just picked up a dash top for it from the south of the North Island, Wellington, and we picked up a hood for it, or bonnet from the. We picked that up from, where did we pick that from? Oh, the bottom of the South Island. Very nice people, actually. They did the job for that. There's a car wrecking place down in Gore. Supplied us with a bonnet, and the bonnet is actually really good. So that's a good start. So that will be the next one that we'll start on. Now, how much of this I'll be able to video, I don't know, because I'm going to the States for a little while. Just do some stuff over there. And then we'll just show you more stuff as I do it over there. Probably do a couple of junkyards. Definitely going to do a sort of bit of a reunion. And I'm heading to a big zombie weekender. And if you want to see the zombie weekender, let me know. And I'll take you along and show you it. Let's see if I can find something else to show you. So what else have we been messing around? I thought I might show you this. This is because it is literally a terrible piece of junk that we found in the back of a scrap truck. I thought it was too cool to let it go for scrap, so I bought it for next to nothing from the lovely scrap dealer in town, GR Metals, really good guy. So if you've got scrap, talk to him. If you've got things that aren't scrap, give me a ring at King Country Town. This, obviously, they thought was scrap, but I think it might come back around a little. It's been off the road for a very, 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 very long time, and it is really bad. However, good news, has compression, still kicks over, isn't seized, so there is a good chance that we might be able to do something with this. However, we're not going to guarantee it until we've spent a little bit of time messing around with it, but I think that this is something we could probably restore quietly on a budget, we hope. A very tight budget, because it's not worth a lot, but it is too cool to leave like an early 70s Honda 125 just rot. You know, it's like, it seems a shame for just throw these things in the scrap when there's a chance you can save them, put them back together on a budget. I'll be on a very strict budget with this. We'll just make it go, run and stop. Try and find some second-hand parts for it and see how we get on with it. And since we're doing that, I should show you some more. Right, so this is something that I'm very dubious about. Took it on as I bought it very cheaply. It's a camper. It's a Mark 5 smiley face diesel transit, which I'm sure that anybody from Europe knows. New Zealand, not so much. Everybody kind of doesn't like them. There's a reason for that. This one has a very big problem. The big problem is low power output. They put a diesel pump on it, brand spanking new. We've put some injectors on it just in case it was that, just so we can eliminate it. But realistically, we're not quite sure why it's on a low problem. I think that maybe they've mistimed the pump. It's a 2.5 DI banana engine, which is what everybody knows that because the intakes look like bananas. Very cool old thing. Very hard to find in the UK. I love them. I've had lots of them. They're getting very hard to find everywhere now. This one is converted as a camper, and it is appalling. It is a terrible camper conversion job in it, but it's still pretty cool. It's not rusty on the roof. It's not in anywhere near perfect shape, and this camera will probably make it look a lot better than it actually is. But this is a sort of next project. We've really got to do a little bit of work to this. Hopefully we can get it to run properly, and we're really, really hoping that we don't run into the same problems that lots of people do here, which is can't diagnose the diesel problems. If you were in the UK, you'd have no problem telling me what to do with this, because it would be a very common car here, less common. I don't know if it's left open, but if it is, I'll show you inside. Yeah, it's open. Okay, so pretty tidy inside. Has good steps. You know, is not perfect, but is pretty decent. 271,000 Ks. Like I said, it was very cheap, but it was very cheap for a reason. It's got some crazy bits and pieces in this. I'm going to run you through when I get a chance. This one, because this is a New Zealand one, has air conditioning in it. Does it work? Probably not. But we'll have a go at trying to fix that as well while we're at it. If anybody's got any hints that why this might be running rough, that's not diesel pump or injectors, let us know. I know there's a pre-diesel pump to this, and maybe it's that. Look at this. This is the sort of scandalous junk that people do. Battered door, you know, really bad repair here. Obviously, I'm gonna have to deal with things like that, but it's what you kind of get. So, that's a nice quick turnaround for you today. Just show you some stuff that we're doing. I hope that you're still enjoying this and watching the channel. Please think about liking and subscribing if you can, because, you know, it doesn't cost you anything, and it means that I know what you like and I can continue to do stuff, and then maybe someday somebody will sponsor me and I'll be rich. Which is very unlikely, but it's fun doing this, and I hope you guys like it as well. I'm always messing around with old cars, and it's been good. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to promise I'll work on my audio, and I'll try and get some more interesting stuff for you to look at. But, you know, I'm just trying to go through the projects at the minute. We've got a 63 Fairlane project we got coming in next, which I'm sure you're really going to like. I bet you'll find this is really rust-free for a Mark 5 smiley face from the UK. This would be almost mint. Anyway, so good. I hope you've all had a good time, and hope we're looking forward to summer. I hope you guys are enjoying where you are now. It must be autumn. So thanks very much, guys. Take care, and I'll catch up with you all very shortly.